Captain's Log, Year 486 of the Interstellar Era, Terran Universal Time, estimated to be 3 April, 4:22 p.m. Illustration, Jacey. From the confines of the Engineer's Bay, Eris studied the hypnotic dance of nebulae and star clusters outside her ship, the Nebula Nomad. It was a view that could mesmerize the uninitiated for hours, but for Eris, it was just another backdrop to another day spent tinkering with uncooperative machinery. In a tunnel in a spaceship, gloved hands reach out for a spanner that floats above a swirling mass of lights. Her fingers, encased in the advanced polyflex material of her suit, grasped at the errant tool with precision, despite the disorienting zero-gravity ballet she performed to reach it. Tools had a way of escaping her grasp at the most inopportune times. But in space, every moment was an opportunity to adapt, to overcome, and to be awed. Eris had a secret that not even the crew of the Nebula Nomad knew. She wasn't just the lead engineer. She was the architect of a plan so ambitious it bordered on the impossible, a plan that would take her to the edge of the universe. Since childhood, she had been obsessed with the idea that there was an end to it all. A final frontier that, once crossed, would unveil the universe's most profound mysteries. Her plan was ready for execution, and tonight was the night it would come to life. The log entry was just a formality, a way for her to mark time in an existence that had lost traditional structure long ago. The ship's AI, a charmingly antiquated model nicknamed Argo, squawked a reminder that it was time for her nightly check-in with the captain. She pushed away from the wall, tools in tow, and propelled herself towards the command deck. "Captain Vega," Eris began, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach, "I'd like to discuss my special project." Captain Vega, a woman whose eyes had seen the cosmos unfold in ways few could imagine, nodded from her captain's chair. "Eris, you're one of the best engineers I've had the pleasure to sail with. Your special project has piqued my interest ever since you mentioned it." What Vega didn't know was that Eris' project, a highly experimental engine modification, was more than a mere technological curiosity. Eris had discovered a theoretical possibility of warping space-time beyond known limits, potentially reaching what she called the quiet, a hypothetical point where the expansion of the universe slowed to a standstill. That night, as the crew slumbered in their bunks, Eris initiated the sequence. The Nebula Nomad shuddered gently, reacting to the clandestine adjustments Eris had made over the past several months. She didn't have clearance. She didn't have approval. But she had the unshakable resolve of the truly obsessed. Her heart raced as Argo's system lights flashed a sequence that only she could interpret. The engine hummed a frequency that resonated with the core of her being. Layers of reality seemed to fold upon themselves as the Nomads surged forwards, faster than any human had ever traveled. They passed the Oort cloud, the outer nebulae that Eris had only read about, and then space began to change. Stars elongated, galaxies twisted, and for a moment, Eris wasn't sure whether the ship was moving or if the universe itself was warping around her. Then silence. A profound quiet that went beyond absence of sound, a cessation of the cosmic background radiation that had been the ever-present companion of space travelers since the dawn of interstellar flight. Eris floated to the viewport, her breath caught in her throat. Before her stretched an expanse unlike any other, an immeasurable void where the universe had run out of space to expand into. The end of everything and the beginning of understanding. She realized that she was at the precipice of infinity, teetering on the edge of discovery and oblivion. Her heart was a drum echoing in the silence of the quiet. And in that moment, Eris, the girl who had dared to travel to the end of the universe, became the first to gaze upon its limitant, the limitless potential beyond.